Alright, so for the this is for the rationale of my project, and what I'm essentially trying to do is base it off the game of, popular game Five Nights at Freddy's, which is of course a horror game, and that's what I aim to do. Right now, currently, I do have it partially done, almost done. There are some stuff that I do need to add, but besides a few things, it seems like I will be able to do it. However, there are some cameras that I have on here, two to be exact, that I haven't gone down for, the game. But currently, for this video, I'll just review my code and explain essentially how it's going to work and how it's going to function within the game. So, starting from the top, we have the hour system and indicator. So this is basically how I'm going to indicate the hour. What I'm going to do with that is set a timed loop within the right here. Let me see. This is a timed loop right here that essentially acts as the hour. So right now it's currently set at 5 because I was testing it earlier just to see if it would add an hour to that variable set, which is of course named hour. So each time right here, if hour equals, which means if it equals that exact number, it would print out the value of hour, which is of course 1 at that time, and then AM. This can be seen in the game as right here we're at the desk, right? And there we go, 1 AM. That's happened after 5 seconds, and then we could wait another 5 seconds, 2 AM. There we go. That's how it's going to work, of course. At a certain point, once you reach the 6th hour, it's going to end the game, and you basically, of course, win the game, which of course plays into that stereotype of Five Nights at Freddy game. But currently, that is the hour system, and that is your primary win condition on how you're gonna win the game. So going down from here now, I do have some other variables set up, and these are for the doors. So of course, in order to stop the what you would call animatronics, but in this case for my game I would just call them basic enemies because they are not robots, but more like just regular random stuff, right? If you want to keep the enemies out, this is the value to determine that. Within the game, there are 2 doors that you need to close, and I do have another function that let me see right here. These demonstrate whether or not if the door is closed or not. So if D1, which is door 1, if the value is equal to 1, I haven't set the AI yet, but I will eventually. But if the AI checks to see if the value of D1 equals to 1, then that would consider the door closed, and it would set the enemy AI back to where it started. However, if once you open the door again, it will remove that 1 and set it back to 0. And if the enemy AI checks for that variable at 0 and it is 0, then it will proceed to right here, the enemy door check right here. So if it is 0 right here, it will proceed to stop the time loop, which essentially stops all the time loops I had set around, which is for the hours and for the enemy movement. And right here, yeah, this is for the enemy movement, but it would essentially stop all those time loops, essentially stopping the game, and then it would execute a function where the I don't know why I have this right here, but I'm pretty sure I put it as a precaution to for the jump scare, and it will stop the time loop just in case it hadn't in the previous. But I'll see how I'm gonna organize it. Um, it'll stop the time loop. Set the screen to enemy one jump scare animation. I did change that. Let me fix it. So it'd be enemy one jump scare, which, to be honest, I was thinking about trying to animate the jump scare, but like through code.org, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be really difficult to animate a jump scare. So I'm just gonna keep it as a basic image that would pop up and play a really loud noise just to get that jump scare feeling. Which right here you can see the various jump scares I have for 3. Currently, I do only have one AI, but I will plan to add the other 2. So we got the monkey. And this is based off a monkey, of course. Intruder, you'll see about that. Old man, this is based off of old man. So each of the jump scare sounds right here are different, are played out differently depending on the character that comes in your room, right? And after that, it would set a timeout. So it would execute a timeout, which this isn't a time loop, so it would only play out one time. So basically, it would let the jump scare sound and the set screen play out for a couple of seconds before moving on to the lose screen. And that's how it's gonna be for most of the enemies right here. So going up here, right here, you can see what I meant. Well, this is not what I meant about the door check, but this is to detect where the movement of the enemy is currently at. And what I mean by this value is each, depending on where the enemy is at, right here, this is the enemy room checker. So it'd be like if the enemy is okay, it is combined with another variable. I forgot to mention that, but it's kind of all over the place. But it is combined with monitoring movement check. It is combined. It is like going alongside with the AI1P, which is representative of AI1 position, which is basically the position the enemy AI holds within the house, basically. So what I'm gonna do for that is if the position is 0, that is its current starting position. So it'll be set in either one of these cameras right here, depending on where I place that enemy at. So if the enemy starts, let's say, at the living room, right, I would consider that the position 0, which is its starting position. And like I said with the doors, once it checks the doors, and if the door is closed, then I'll do a function for that would set the enemy back all the way back to the living room front camera, right? Which is because it has the value of 0, right? And as time goes on, the enemy AI right here will randomly check to see if the enemy should move or not. So it will check every whatever second I set it to. Currently I have it at 2.5 seconds, but inside there it goes into the AI. It will generate a random number between 1 and 5, and if the value of AI1 is less than 5, then it will do the enemy room check. And that's where you get this, right? The enemy room check. Don't mind the console log thing right here, and the MD plus, well, the MD plus 1 is indicating the movement check, right? But the console.log here was just to make sure that the enemy was checking to see if it could move. As you can see down here, this is the console. You could see move 3, move 4. It was depending. It was trying to. It was basically it allowed me to detect whether or not it checked to see if it moved or not. AI1 is the variable to check to see if the AI should move or not, right? This is, yeah, basically what it says and stands for. So we got the enemy jump scare. That is for the AI1 right here, of course. You have the enemy room check, which is the position of where the enemy is going to be at. Then you would have the enemy door check. I will do this. I will, um, I will include like around the end of the enemy room check, if it is greater than the if it's greater than the value of a certain point right here, it will stop. Well, it will continue adding up, but like I'm planning on doing that just so, because I'm not entirely sure on how to stop the enemy from checking once it's at the doors. So I'll just do that and let it run. But once it reaches a certain point, I'm gonna make sure it checks a certain variable within the enemy door check, and if it reaches that variable, it could play out the jump scare basically. Or if it reaches that variable, yeah, it could play out the jump scare, but I'm going to need to implement a couple line of codes before that, just to, you know, determine how I'm gonna do that. But from here, we got the enemy jump scare, of course, which, like I described, it's gonna set the screen to a jump scare. It's not really gonna be more. It's gonna be more of a pop up. It's not gonna be like an animated jump scare, because it's going to be like basically random pop up, and it'll play the really loud sound just to, get people riled up while they're playing, right? And then right here we have the win screen, which, as I stated, if you reach the hour 6 and it'll check, well, I'll have it check right here at hour 6. It'll send you to win screen where you can replay. And that's the same thing with the lose screen. The lose screen will allow you to replay the game as well. How I intend to set the hours is set them for every 1 minute. So each hour is about 1 minute long. So probably the game will be about 6 minutes long, basically. Here, these are all the camera systems. These are all the doors you can go and check. Like I said, these consoles.log are this is basically me checking to see if the door is open or not. And then we have the set the screen back to desk, which I'll show you here in a demonstration. So here I got the game on. If you're looking at the console right here, you'll be able to see that the AI, which I currently don't have set right now, but like it's still running in the background. It's still running in the background, but it will check to see if it's moved down in the console down here. So I'll start the hour. We give it some time, and you'll see that it did in fact move, right? And then you also see that the time is changing, and we can go check room, and you see we're at the room, right? This is the bedroom. The left door is, of course, left door right here. That's what I mean. Right door is right here. This is the closet. This is the second floor hallway, basically. So you go up the right door. You're up here, right? And you close the door, right? Close the door. It won't give you the option to leave it closed, because I do know that if if you did do that, it kind of be pretty busted, because you could just close doors and not be jump scared at all. So it forces you the option to open the door, and once you think that the enemy AI is gone, you can go back, use camera, and you can see all the camera stuff here. I didn't really design the exit part right here, but we can go to a second floor camera, and as you can see, I already have the enemies set up. I will, however, make them invisible, so once they reach a certain position, like I said with the movement position, if like they reach, like, let's say a position of 4 is where the second floor hallway is at, and if they reach that position, then it will indicate them being here by, of course, them actually being here in the present, in the forms of basically images right here. So you got the old man, you got the monkey right here. Besides that, like I said, if you're checking the console down here, right here, it is indicating right here, right door closed one. Oh, where is it? Okay. Okay. Bro, oh, come on. Okay, bro. So it is indicating right door open 0. So that means that once it's open like that, the enemy can come in. But when it's like this, right door closed 1, the enemy will check to see if the door value is 1, and if it is, that means it's closed, and it will send the enemy back to where it's at. And that's going to be the main gameplay loop of the game I'm currently developing right now. So I will get it finished sometime because it is almost complete. I just got to develop the jump scare and develop each enemy placement. I think not the issue, but like the hardest part might be the enemy placement because I'm going to have to do that with 3 separate enemies. So, okay, it's gonna be a lot, but it's nothing too bad. It's just really tedious because it's kind of like repetitive code at this point. But that's about it for my rationale for the project. With that